Thank you, Miss Jonathan. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I want to say thank you to you and to the entire diaspora community, as well as the dignitaries, and appreciate all that you guys are doing. And particularly speaking, I want to highlight something very important. This month's Condé Nast Traveler is showcasing Lagos in Nigeria. So this says a lot about the concept of what's happening in Nigeria and what's happening, how the impact of Nigeria around the world. But I want to take a satellite approach and also go a microscope approach to what's happening, the backbone of education. And to say that one of the greatest things that the individuals on here that are doing as far as creating these companies and these businesses, they're doing a phenomenal job. And from America, it's very much appreciated. So in this educational highway and the learning devices that are needed along the way are the iPads and the tablets and so forth, and all this massive data and the catalogs of content. Here's the problem with all that. We have to eliminate digital poverty and the attention to low income and marginalized students. And I'm seeing that that actually is being addressed in some of the presentations, which is a beautiful thing. But now we need to make sure that the joint ventures for the future consider the fact that the government, corporate, as well as wealthy philanthropists have to come together as what's happening in America and create these various trainings to realize that the impact on the continent, as well as Nigeria and its impact as a continent, you know, what it does with the continent, that real estate, business, construction, infrastructure, and education all go hand in hand, because minus the education, everything else is null and void. So from the vocational training standpoint, there are programs that were created in America, like the CETA, which is the Job Training Partnership Act, Jobs for Youth, Youth Build, Job Corps, work training programs that Roosevelt all the way down to Nixon created. These programs created the building of infrastructure, which is basically the backbone of what this continent needs as well as the country needs. So just being able to utilize equipments, tools, the maintenance, the demolition work, the welding, the general laborers, the masonry, the contracting, even heavy construction and the drones, the AI, all of it focuses on education. So that's a must. Now, the other part of this is women and young ladies. There has to be a focus there, because as an investor, the first thing I'm looking at is where are the ladies and the women at? Because we have to make sure they're part of this backbone of this ingredient, because we saw what happened with the elections here in this country. Women were the key ingredient for this election to tip and change. So we have to make sure they're trained as well. So one of the key things of it is training and building a local labor force and building projects that can turn around and turn the entire continent around. And Nigeria is the key ingredient to that because it has the largest population. You have a potential of 100 million potential customers, as well as employees and clients, that if they're trained appropriately with the right amount of skills, you have it. So this educational backbone is a must. So the other part about that is the focus needs to be on the no brain drain. You can't have them leaving the continent with these skills and then coming to America and saying, well, okay, well, now it's time for me to have this space of opportunity. There are opportunities on the continent. So we have to make sure that the students slash the adults are not fleeing the continent and staying here for better opportunities. So with that being said, some of the takeaways of that, I'm going to go bullet points. I like the fact about the STEM. Very important. That's key to the future as well. But also we have to look at the C-suites, how to make sure leadership is in the C-suites of corporate global companies. The healthcare, very important, because we saw how this pandemic has had a tremendous impact. So I'm liking the fact of what I'm seeing there. The vocational building skills, that's another foundation. We have to focus on infrastructure, because we're looking at, strategically speaking, the population of Africa might be anywhere from 2 billion to 4 billion in the next 40, 50 years. That's potentially speaking, not trillions of dollars of infrastructure, but quadrillions of dollars of infrastructure. You have the Trans-African Highway system. That system is not completely connected. So with these infrastructure programs, as well as vocational programs, it creates vast opportunities. We also have the multifamily housing. For example, we're gonna need on the continent, as well as particularly speaking in Nigeria, Co-op City, which we have in New York City, or Starrett City, or Peter Cooper Village, these huge complexes, which is gonna be able to house hundreds of thousands of people. You have to have the infrastructure to make sure that these places are functioning, the maintenance, the building, the consistency. And the skill sets have to be marketable. They will have to add to the economic fabric of the country, and the highest skill set laborers, which expert both male and female. Now, giving you a personal concept of this from my own personal background, I started out with a program called Chicago United, which was a program between the city of Chicago and the corporate community of Chicago. And it changed my life by introducing me in high school to a career in banking, investment banking, and real estate. But that was a program that was sponsored by wealthy philanthropists, corporations locally, and governmental partnerships. And that's a must. I call it the triad of opportunity. You have to have it to make this thing work. Now, segueing that and kind of ending the whole part of my presentation here, what are the things that are common in the other areas of the world that are making things happen? China, UAE, Dubai, India, Saudi Arabia. The common ingredients that they have are the ability to diversify and pivot. Nigeria is a oil-rich country. It's a powerhouse, but it must utilize as its leverage the foundation to fund and fortify its place in education and infrastructure. And having said that, from which this foundation comes, you have to create endless opportunities. So the key takeaway is Nigeria is Africa is a diamond, but as a reservoir of little gems. And those little gems are the citizenry. So we are the creator of civilization, as it said, but coming from this foundation, we must support the world. And I do mean Nigeria will soon be supporting the world. So I want to thank you for the presentation. I appreciate it.